Hey, what's up, studs? Ryan here, or M&R Productions, and welcome to Ask M&R episode 140. If you guys have a question you want to answer in next week's episode, leave in the comment section down below, and if you enjoy the video, like is always appreciated. This week, I got something cool in the mail. Y'all know how I love my small boxes. Well, I discovered a small box version of the Battle on Endor set from 2009. I had no idea this existed in small box, but as soon as I saw it on Mercari, I picked it up immediately. So, pretty stoked to have this. Obviously, I have the older version that's a rectangle as well, so that's pretty cool. I cannot wait until I get to build this set one day once again. Anyway, our first question comes from HK Huey. He says, do you think a new UCS Death Star 2 set is on the table for the coming years, or will we have to wait longer, or will it never happen at all? I think saying anything will never happen at all is a big stretch with LEGO Star Wars. There's not a lot of things that I would say would never happen at all. Certainly not something as popular as a freaking Death Star. That being said, there is currently a UCS Death Star available, so until that retires, I would say that it's off the table, yes. We do see on the cover of the LEGO Star Wars video game a pretty nice rendition of a UCS style Death Star. I will say that just because something is in the new LEGO Star Wars game, and I know this is going to be something that a lot of people comment over the next year or whatever as the game gets closer to release and eventually releases, like, oh, I saw this in the game, is this going to be a LEGO set this year? That's probably not how it's going to work. Nor do I believe that's how it has worked in years past. Just because it's in the game doesn't mean it's going to be a LEGO set, because they make things to look like LEGO sets in the game so that it, feels like a LEGO game. That's the point of the game. Just because we see it on the cover in LEGO doesn't mean it's going to be a LEGO set or that it's going to look like that. It also doesn't mean it's not going to be, but there's not like a direct correlation, just so that we're clear. I think that it will happen within the next 5 years, though. The Death Star is obviously a huge thing for Star Wars and for LEGO Star Wars. So Death Star has been one of the best-selling LEGO Star Wars sets year over year for many years now, because they had that play set out in 2008 and then they released it in 2016. Like, just a very popular set. And I could see that set being phased out here rather soon. It's still running the older Stormtrooper helmets, I think. So at some point, they gotta move on from it, right? I think we'll see one within the next 5 years. I know that's quite a big timetable, but like, that's the timetable you kind of work with on something like this. It's just going to be a little while, and of course it'll look real good in that all black box art. I honestly think it could be, and it's kind of a big stretch, but it could be the first $1,000 LEGO set. Really could be. If you look at the UCS Star Destroyer, that was $300 when originally released, much like the UCS Death Star 2 was $300 when originally released. The newer version is $700. Well, they could go just ridiculously big on a new Death Star and make it $1,000. The Death Star is one of the few things that I think could warrant a $1,000 price tag. Elavel wants to know what my favorite prank in The Office is. I really love the episode where Dwight kind of makes Jim think that every snowman in the parking lot could be Dwight. It's just like this whole mental thing, and it's like, fear. And I love where it kind of focuses in on Dwight up on the roof. I was laughing so hard at that the first time I watched it. I still laugh at it. It's a really funny prank.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh god. No.
Okay, this is it.
What?
Go.
What is this? What?
Go.
Oh my god!
In the end, the greatest snowball isn't a snowball at all. It's fear.
Prune says, what do you think about the people who keep all of their sets in the box? They can do whatever the hell they want with their sets. That's what I think. I think if you want to keep your sets sealed in the box and that's the way you enjoy it, hell yeah, man. All the power to you. I personally do enjoy keeping some of my sets sealed in the box and never plan to open some of them. That's just the way I like to collect. If you want to open all your sets, hey, that's all your prerogative as well. So I don't think anything about those people. I think they're doing what they want to do and that they're enjoying it, and that's all that matters. Darklay076 says, have you heard any 2021 set rumors? Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter. Friendly reminder, when I have set rumors, I will make a video about said set rumors. So no, I have not heard any set rumors. That being said, the Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter has been very much a rumor that has been popping up over the last few days, and it's the only set that has been rumored. There's no set number attributed to it, so I can't really check its validity that way. And the price of it is $70. And I will say, I have a price list for the sets that I'm not willing to share in full for 2020, but the most expensive set on the list for January will be $70. So it does line up with that. There is that small tad bit of validity to the potential of a Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter for January 2021. I mean, it could have been someone's wild guess that for some reason got picked up as a rumor. I have not heard it from anything that I would consider to be reliable. Again, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean it's not true, but treat it very much as a rumor, as you should with rumors, because it's a rumor, which means it's not confirmed by LEGO, which means it might not be true. I always find it really funny when people comment on my rumor videos and be like, hey, this didn't come true. It's like, yeah, it was a rumor. That's because it wasn't confirmed. But yeah, Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter presents something very interesting. So I'm very curious to see what it would look like if it actually is $70, because the last TIE Fighter was $70, and this one will require more parts to be able to fold out the wings, and obviously have new minifigs, but who knows what they might do with something like that, especially given that the TIE Dagger was $80. That was egregiously overpriced to $80. I can't imagine Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter costing $70, but hey, if that's what it ends up being, that would be not bad. Chiz Pie says, what is your favorite piece of Star Wars merchandise that isn't Lego? This little baby Yoda here might be the cutest damn thing ever. It's definitely the first thing that came to mind, and maybe recency bias, whatever, but like, this little plush baby Yoda that was $10 at Target is probably my favorite piece of Star Wars merchandise that isn't Lego. It's so cute! I cannot wait for that Season 2 trailer. Oh my god. Honestly, we're getting to the point where they might just not release the trailer, which I'm more than fine with, actually, because I would love to watch The Mandalorian Season 2 and not have seen a trailer for it. I think some of my favorite viewing experiences for be it movies or TV shows have come from things that I didn't watch a trailer for, so I knew nothing about them going into it. So if possible, I would say try to refrain from watching the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer if they do end up releasing a trailer here before the October 30th release date. But I don't know. I might try not to watch it, although that's really hard for me in what I do. Isaiah says, is there a Star Wars animal or creature that hasn't been made into Lego that you'd like to see? So this one's kind of got an asterisk with it, but the Bantha, right? We've talked about this a little bit with the Mos Eisley rumor video and everything. And I want to see a molded Bantha. I know we've gotten the brick-built one, that's why I said this kind of gets an asterisk, but we need a molded one. We need one that we've seen in the Lego Star Wars new trailer or picture that was released for the game, you know, like a year and a half ago. So that's what I want to see. Sour X says, do you think that there will ever be Lego Call of Duty sets, maybe an 18+ UCS set with some vehicles and exclusive minifigures? They canceled a set that was basically a rescue version of an Osprey, and that wasn't even military, didn't have guns. There is no chance that Lego will ever, how many times can I say ever, make Call of Duty sets? Ever. Never gonna happen. Henry says, do you have a set that is strongly disliked by everyone else that you like because you have nostalgia? I think the 2005 Sandcrawler is a set that does get some flack. Now, I wouldn't say it's strongly disliked by everyone else. There aren't a lot of sets that a lot of people would agree are terrible. And you say everyone else. People use that term very loosely, so it's kind of hard to pick up exactly what you mean by everyone else, because obviously not everyone else could possibly dislike something, because no matter what it is, there'll be people that end up on one side of the fence and others on the other side. But that 2005 Sandcrawler, I would say there's probably a substantial group of people that don't like that set because of the brick-built nature of it. And obviously the newer UCS one is probably better in most people's eyes, including my own, but I love that 2005 Sandcrawler to no end, and we'll defend it every day. It's one of my favorite sets. It was my first UCS set. It was my big set for 2005. My grandma bought it for me back then, and oh man, I was so excited to get that. Like, I was like, $140, like, oh my god, I'm so glad I got this. I could never have afforded that. So that one was pretty hype for me, and definitely one that I have nostalgia for, that I feel like some people aren't too high on, which is fair. I can see why, but it's so good still. Brick Brothers says, can you do a Razor Crest and 2019 Millennium Falcon size comparison? Yes, I can. Let's take a look. My Episode 9 Falcon is buried in the garage, so I'll give you a quick size comparison of the 2017 Solo Falcon. They're pretty much the same size. Basically, the Solo Falcon just has that additional bit on the front. Obviously, there's redesigned things on the newer one, but you know, it's a Millennium Falcon. They basically have the same base size. And the Razor Crest is big. The Falcon for $30 or $40 more, 40 in this case, is obviously going to be bigger, but just giving you an idea here. Just so you can see everything, the Razor Crest is going to be a bit taller. The interior space, obviously, because of the saucer-like design, is going to be way different on the Falcon than it is on the Razor Crest, which you're going to have to like access through like panels on the side and everything. But if you're asking just to find out if you'd rather get the Episode 9 Falcon or the Razor Crest, I've been picking the Razor Crest over the AT-AT, and the Falcon is the same price as the AT-AT as well. I would still go with the Razor Crest. The Razor Crest right now is one of the most poppin' sets. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around it, so maybe that kind of goes into the decision. But the Razor Crest is a pretty hefty boy for $130. And real quick, I guess while we're at it, for $130, there's the Darth Vader's castle and the Razor Crest. Just kind of give you an idea. The castle, again, substantially different build, but just so you get the idea of the sizing difference between those sets. But yeah, there's your little quick size comparison. Rocky Guy says, M&R, what's your opinion on the Luke Blue Milk Polybag? It is massively disappointing for a game exclusive figure. It's not that big of a draw. It's another Farm Boy Luke, which we already have probably in 2 sets this year alone. We get like every other year otherwise. I just don't care about Farm Boy Luke with a blue brick, right? Like, that's basically what it is. It doesn't excite me at all. The Finn exclusive figure from 2016's Force Awakens game was marginally better, maybe, or marginally worse. Like, they're both pretty bad. Unfortunately, the way these game exclusive figures probably work is that Lego or the gaming company, whatever, wants to make a figure that is widely appealing, right? Like, hey, I know who Luke Skywalker is, or hey, I know who Finn is. I just watched the most recent Star Wars. He's a stormtrooper that defected. Like, they make a character that people absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, will recognize and know, versus something that us hardcore fans want, like Jedi Bob would have never been a good exclusive for the game, but like for the argument's sake, Jedi Bob, right? Like, the community would be like, oh my god, it's Jedi Bob, I can't believe it. But like, you know, mom and dad trying to buy this set for their son, and like, why would I buy that? It comes with some who is that? You know? And even, you know, some people just buying the game for themselves, be like, who the hell is that? I don't know who that is. So unfortunately, I think it ends up in that kind of space where they're making something for the masses and not something that we, the fans, would want. And I understand that. I just disagree with it. Tom Huff says, what's that rumor were you most excited for that ended up being false? Definitely the 2018 summer viewing rumor. That one seemed so good, and ended up just not coming to fruition, unfortunately. So yeah, that one definitely was a rumor that ended up being false that I was just pretty hyped up on, and that's how rumors go. They're not all true. Can you believe it? I honestly think we're more likely to get an ARC 170 than a viewing if we get either ever. So that's just the way that I look at that. I just think a viewing would be too much for them to make. And the older viewing, I finally got to experience thanks to Mike kind of recently, and not so hot, not as good as I thought it was, but still decent, but not the great set that I had always idealized it to be. But yeah, definitely that set. I'm curious in the comments, were there any rumors you guys had heard of that y'all thought were true and were excited for and ended up just not coming to fruition? I somehow forgot to film an outro while I was sitting down, so thank you guys very much for watching Ask M&R episode 140. If you guys have a question for next week's episode, the comment section is the place to be, and if you want to like upvote other people's comments, that's a great way to get visibility on a comment that maybe you would also like to see answered. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all again next week.